Coming to the Showcase Cinema, Glasgow, Coatbridge, the Scottish Screenwriters Festival brings you 2 Scottish indie movies from Square Go Films. On Thursday, the 6th of August, see action-packed Dick Dynamite 1944 as it was meant to be seen with a Q&A from the director, Robbie Davidson. On Thursday, the 3rd of September, catch Ian Gordon's folk horror, Superterranean, for the first time ever in a Scottish cinema, with a Q&A from the film's creators. Support Scottish indie films on the 6th of August and the 3rd of September at the Showcase in Glasgow, Coatbridge.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Square Go podcast. I know that you've been missing us this year. We haven't been able to get in and record as many podcasts as we've liked, and we've literally been inundated by about 4 or 5 messages of support, so thank you very much. We're back though, and we've got lots of things to talk to you about. We're going to talk to you about Cannes. We're going to talk to you about demonic sailor men. Those episodes might already be out, but more importantly, we have a national treasure with us that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But before I introduce our guest, I have to introduce, well, I should introduce myself. My name's Ian Gordon. I have no nicknames.
Nonsense.
So
I know about that. Nonsense.
To my left is my co-host, our guitarist and filmmaker, Mr. Robbie Davidson, also known as Alfred Hitchcock. And thank you. To my right is our tame cinematographer, Alexander Henderson, also known as Roger Deakins.
Oh,
that's nice.
Do you like that?
I might adopt that.
I like
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Roger Deakins.
But it gives me, it's a great honour to introduce
You're making this
our
up
host.
as you go along. Very impressive.
Well, normally we start the show by slagging each other off with a different nickname every episode.
see.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I need to introduce our guest because he's one of the most recognised Scottish actors from his work in Scottish classics like Rab C, Nesbitt, Still Game, Outlander, Shetland, but also British classics like A Fetus in Pet.
Shameless.
Spaced, Shameless, yeah. But also known the world over for his work in massive productions like The Witcher, Dept Q, One Piece, Game of Thrones, movies like Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes, Thor, The Dark World, and a personal favourite of mine, which we'll definitely be talking about, The 13th Warrior. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Clive Russell.
Woo!
Welcome.
Thank you, ladies.
And thanks for coming along. It's actually great to have someone from Fife because we haven't really worked out how to do the whole video call thing. So we're just kind of working our way through the Scottish film industry that lives around Kirkcaldy. But yeah, so there's a lot to talk about because you've obviously had a big long list. Your IMDb list of previous work is one of the longest and most interesting lists I've ever seen. And as like film geeks, there's lots for us to ask you about. But before I do any of that, I'd like to just, we normally ask our guests how they got started doing what they do. So I think I read that your first professional stage work was about, you're about 35. So did you have a previous career to that, or that might be rubbish? That's Wikipedia, by the way. So how did you get started in acting? Was it something that you were trying to do from an early age, or?
I got started in acting because I think I was the class clown.
Right.
And I liked making the class laugh. I liked making the teacher laugh. And I got in trouble for it, but I was used to standing in front of people.
Yeah.
And it felt good.
So it's something you did really from an early age?
And there was a couple of formal things. I think I was in the Life Boys,
Right.
the junior section of the Boys Brigade, and in turn the junior section of the UDA in many respects.
Yeah, I was in the Boys Brigade as well.
When you went to when you international camp, that's who you met, the Northern Irish boys who were
Right.
very committed Protestants and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in the Boys Brigade, and it always struck me how they tried to make everybody uniform. They tried to make everyone regimented. And when I did youth theatre, it was the opposite. They were looking for individuality. They wanted you to be different from everyone around you.
Well, my first experience of being on a stage in front of adults was they did a thing called a sort of pretend miners gala, and it was incorporating a lot of different lifebuoy groups around Fife, and I was cast as I was the chairman of the board, the coal board, and I had a speech which basically was a distortion of Winston Churchill's "We will fight them on the beaches."
Right.
And it was something like, never in the field, this is about the miners, and he's the employer, never in the field of human conflict have so many done so little for so much. So I started my acting career well to the right of politics.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I did. Then at school, a bit like you described, I was a sporty guy. I did all kinds of sports, and I grew very, very quickly in physical stature in a way that I found really, really difficult.
Right.
I was very pimply, very self-conscious, and the only place I felt, not surprisingly, after what I've just described, felt comfortable. Somebody's just dropped my ball. Who was that? Was on stage in the school productions.
Yeah.
And I had a great time, maybe in the last 3 years at school, and being in various productions. In one particular, there was it was a Brechtian production of the Caucasian Chalk Circle. So we had actors on one side of the stage, actors on the other side of the stage, not much lighting, and one scene would take place there, another scene would take... Well, I was in a scene, and I was a peasant, and I conceived the idea that I would have fleas. And the scene was playing out on my side of the stage, and I was doing a bit of itching.
Yeah.
And the itching just got more, and I was clearly getting a reaction from the audience, a very good reaction. So when the scene went to the other side, when the plot of the Caucasian Chalk Circle, a very seminal work by Bertolt Brecht, was going on, I had developed into a one-man Tommy Cooper act, going, just writhing on the stage, and I thought I was a fucking prince. Are we allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Swear away.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. I was a wee cunt. so after, when I came off expecting to get praise from the drama teacher, he said, "Don't ever do that again.
Right.
Don't ever do that again."
Wow.
So that's kind of my background.
Yeah.
Up to a point. Do you want me to keep going for some years?
So beyond school, then, was there opportunities for you to act?
Well, I then was a good sportsman, very good rugby player. Went to Loughborough College.
Okay. Yeah.
In Leicestershire, doing PE and drama, educational drama, and was much more interested in the educational drama side of it because it gave us the opportunity to do plays and improvisations or whatever.
Yeah.
And the guys above me decided to do their final thesis as a group. And their thesis was, would it be possible to conceive, design and open a flexible repertory theatre in a provincial town? Mm-hmm. One of the guys' dad was the chief executive of Bolton in Lancashire, and 18 months later, the Octagon Theatre was opened.
Right.
And the director was our professor, Robin Pemberton Billing. Mm. And he was a drama education specialist. He wanted there to be a team going out into the town, a schools company. I joined the schools company, and that's where I started professionally.
Right, okay. Excellent. So at what point did you pivot onto screen stuff, TV and...
Oh, that was way after doing a lot of theatre, a lot of touring theatre, a lot of political touring theatre in the 70s.
Okay.
And back
then after doing it the other way around, I went from that into repertory theatre at Lancaster and Liverpool. And when I was in Liverpool, I got a part in Boys from the Black Stuff as a policeman.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, I was talking about that.
And that was kind of my first television gig.
Yeah.
And how do you think the landscape was for actors back then compared to now? Like, was it easier to put a career together, or would you still need like a sort of part-time job to supplement the work? Or
At no stage in my life have I had a part-time job. At all stages, in every era of theatre, television, film, actors have had to supplement their or a lot of actors have had to do that. I find it impossible to make a differentiation, an objective differentiation between eras, because everything changes all the time. I think the generation before me would have said you make a career in the theatre.
Mm-hmm.
And the theatre is what you really should be doing. That's where proper acting is, where you're challenged by great writing. My generation were lucky enough to have different kinds of writing about different kinds of people. Mm-hmm. Ken Loach and Ken Trod doing that stuff was the kind of stuff you just die to do. And speaking as a middle-class boy from Fife, in a way I was undercut by the fact that there were all these guys from the council estates who'd gone to drama school, were coming through and getting work because the work was there for them to bring that with them. Mm-hmm. That was going on then. It's going on now at a certain level. Adolescence is not about nice middle-class people and whatever. A lot of the soap operas are not about that. Difficult to make an objective differentiation. Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting here now partly because I was alive at a certain point in my life when something called streaming came along.
Yeah.
You've got to remember, when I was a kid, there was one television station.
Yeah.
BBC One. One television station. And now, I don't know how to characterise it. Most of my work in the last 3-4 years, indeed the last 10 years, has been with Americans.
Mm-hmm. Amazon, Netflix.
Yeah.
What was it like making the transition into TV? And was that a full transition, or were you still doing lots of theatre and TV at the same time?
I think it was basically the difficulty of realising there's a camera there and a microphone somewhere near you and judging your performance.
Yeah.
And it frankly doesn't take long to learn the problems. It probably takes a bit longer to work out how to answer those problems.
Yeah, a lot of actors talk about kind of acting small.
Stay still.
Yeah.
Look the other guy in the eye and respond to what he's saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It works for me. Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
But that it's very weird when you're suddenly either talking to you or to the crowd. You're making a speech, or being you're that close to me. And that's the camera, and I'm playing into the camera.
Yeah.
Play into a camera, and the actor who I'm playing it to is actually there.
Yeah.
But you're so close to the camera, you have to be in the camera. Otherwise, it looks like you look. Well, you know what I'm talking about. But all those things are a smack in the teeth when you come across them, and you think, no, that can't be right.
Yeah.
And the cameraman is saying your eye line has to be here.
Yeah. Yeah, but that doesn't make sense.
What's an eye line? But you learn it. But I think I referred to this expression when we were coming here. In the end, to do something well, you have to learn to do it by doing it. Mm-hmm. It's not a theory. It's doing it.
Yeah. Being
comfortable in front of a microphone.
Yeah.
If this was my first time in front of a microphone, I'd be very different.
Yeah.
I'd be very aware of far too. All I'm bothered about is you at the moment.
Yeah.
In a very deep way.
Yeah.
That's good. You touched me.
Yeah. You got it on camera.
Just the beginning.
So do you miss the feedback that you get in theatre, because you get, obviously the audience gives you that maybe wrongly when you've got fleas, but you get some sort of feedback from the audience, whereas when you work in screen,
I think for me, it's about the team you were working with. Mm-hmm. And when you take a play and you perform it all over the place, the bond you have with you're going into battle. Mm-hmm. The moment you walk on the stage with the other guys, and the moment you walk off, having received either abuse or praise.
Did you ever have any experiences like that where you went down the theatre production went down badly?
Well, I've had experiences where we had a rule, which most theatre companies have. If there are less people in the audience than on the stage, go and ask them if they can come back tomorrow. That's happened a few times. And touring theatre, where for whatever reason, that's happened. And there was a famous, there's a place in Bradford, I think it's Bradford, called the Bradford Working Men's Club, and that's where all the politically conscious, as they would be known in that, 784, belt and braces, a gay workshop, gay sweatshop, would go and do their plays. And I was in a feminist theatre company called the Monstrous Regiment. We went along, and people were saying, and we were doing a cabaret, which was kind of lightly ideological, and not lightly, got laughs.
Yeah.
And the girls dressed up glamorously, and I was in a tuxedo. So we're pretending to be in a nightclub, but doing stuff which is subverting that, right? And we're talking to our pals and saying, "Oh, where are you going to? Well, we're going to Bradford. You're going to the thing? You're going to Bradford with this?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" I said, "Well, good luck." Right. So Bradford is famous for a group called the Bradford Dykes.
Right.
Yeah. This was a gay part of the feminist movement.
Yeah.
And we got on stage, and the girls are in their frocks, and I'm in my tuxedo, and I start my speech, whatever the fuck it was, and suddenly the lights went on, and this phalanx of women come out, "Stop the play! We want a discussion!" and it was like the fourth wall was made of glass, and it had gone crash.
Yeah.
And this was doubly troubling. It wasn't like the National Front threatening your production. I've been in a production where that happened.
Right.
Was that in Brio?
Brio.
Was that in Bradford? I'm getting confused. I had an experience in Bradford Rios that is similar in the sense. I may as well talk about it. We're here, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
What it was, we're playing Bradford Rios, right? And a horrible big concrete venue, really loud. Ears were shot after it ringing, and go outside to chill out, get some fresh air, and these sort of like burly, older, sort of skinheady guys come up and start chatting to me, and they're like, "All right, mate, what you into?" And I was in my young 20s then. I was like, I'm just into a bit of a smoke, play video games, that sort of thing. What about you? And they're like, B&B. And I'm like, that's amazing. It was like, I bet when it's quiet, you've not got customers, just get your mates round, make a fry up. And everything they said back to me just didn't make sense, and I just kept on talking as if they were running Faulty Towers. And then, they left. But eventually, when they left, it was just like it twigged what they were talking about, and all this stuff I'm talking back to them about, Basil Fawltyisms and making fried eggs and all that. I was like, fuck. They were saying BNP.
Oh.
Like, we're BNP. And I thought they said, yeah, we're running B&B. And I was like, that's amazing, Fried sausages, baked beans.
Bit of community with the lads.
Yeah. And they left, and I was like, that was maybe the best reaction I could have given them.
Yeah.
For those of you listening in Bradford, there's no imputation that Bradford, above all other places, is a bad place to go.
Great curry houses and super cheap.
Yeah. Right.
Off on a wee tangent there.
Responsibility to try and get us back on track. I was trying to bring up the your IMDb, but of course I've got an airplane mode, so that's not going to work. I did want to ask you about Spaced. Do you remember much about working in Spaced? Because it was a series I watched. It's going back a little bit now. But
let me guess, Sandy's never seen it.
Yeah, I haven't. Have you not seen Spaced?
No, I've not.
So it's Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, directed by Edgar Wright. And, there was a lot of names that people like Reece Shearsmith was in that. Bill Bailey, I think, was in it, and Michael Smiley, who's a good actor. What do you recall about being in Space? Because you played a kind of like an evil comic. He was a publisher He was a publisher and had a position of authority. I can't remember his name, and he had a catchphrase which everybody who's into space knows about and refers to. And I think I had a white contact?
eye or something, some kind of. I remember it being. It's a bit like there are at certain points you want to play King Lear, at certain points you want to be in Coronation Street, at certain points you want to be in a Ken Loach movie badum, 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 at that period of time, for any actor with any sensibility, wanted to be in space. This might be Series 3, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's well established. And it was fantastic. It was a fantastically welcoming experience because they were really good about encouraging you. Mm-hmm. Edgar Wright was clearly a kind of on the scale genius, and did all kinds of strange things. There was a sequence in which he basically shot the scene with the camera there, we're going towards you, there, and there, and I'm assuming at some point it went.
Yeah.
I don't know. So he's doing all that kind of stuff. I'd have to say that the reaction is that generation of people who went to university and lived in a shit bedsit, they get older all the time. I don't know, but I remember going with a pal of mine, Sue Johnson, to Liverpool playing West Ham, and afterwards Liverpool won. We went to the pub. It's full of West Hammers, but they're mostly clearly university graduates. They're kind of guys who are working in the arts or whatever. And I'm getting mobbed by these guys who really want to know all about space.
Yeah.
And that's repeated. Indeed, the demographic of different kinds of people who respond to different kind of things is there all the time. White van drivers stopping. The thing I did with Tim Healy, written by the guy who wrote Only Fools and Horses, something hotel, and it was and Tim played this guy who was in another world racist, but he was basically misanthropic. He hated everybody.
Yeah,
and they tuned into the part that he was derogatory to Arab people and etc.
Right. Okay.
So white van man, you go.
It's interesting you talking about the sort of different reactions from different sort of walks of life.
Yeah.
And it was similar when you featured in Dick Dynamite. You know, I was trying to say, we've managed to get Clive Russell for a part. And people are like, Clive Russell, I know that name. What's he been in? And I'd be like, he was in Thor, you know, big name, right? And they're like, right, he's in Game of Thrones. Oh, wow, Game of Thrones, who's in Game of Thrones? And then, you know, mention all the big hitters, and I'm like, Big Innocent still go, and everybody would lose their shit and be like, that, you know, for you must be, had a huge impact. You know, you've been in these, you know, Marvel movies and everything, and yet something about your role as Big Innes in Still Game is legendary.
It must be mad as well that you do like maybe a day on something, and that follows you around for the rest of your life. You know, like it was a day on set, and then you've got people shouting at you in the street for 20 years.
I think there are a couple of things. This is clearly an iconic Scottish thing. For Scotland, people are very proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
Rightly, I think. It took over from Rab C, Nesbitt. But Rab C, Nesbitt didn't happen at the time when you could go home and watch it again and again and again and again, unless you had video. Access to, you know, BBC iPlayer means, or wherever you see it, people literally will tell you it's my favourite scene, or we watch it. We just go back to the beginning and watch it again and again and again and again.
Yeah. When I used to get
and reference to what you're saying, I will never ever lose the consciousness in people who watch me of my 18-inch pile of shit. Never, ever, ever. I mean,
so good.
I fucking wear it. You know?
You have to stand up to get up of that.
Yeah.
But we were talking in the car about One Piece, and like it must be almost jarring that people come to you from so many different, you know, subcultural groups that have some connection with work that you've done, but you know, you'll never know what direction it's going to come from next. And it was a security guy at the airport that recognized the thing. And
I'd gone to Granada for a Comic Con, and there were two of us from from One Piece, both of us Scottish, as it happened, and we did a question answer, and there were 500 people in the place, and they all loved it. Now that's the first time I've had any indication, aside from being told it's massive, and it was the 6th most watched series in 2024. It was huge around the world. There is no response here, other than the women in the shop who have children. One of them started watching it with their children, so they all watch it.
Yeah.
But it's not like there's nobody stopping me in the street. There's nothing coming back from my pals.
Yeah.
My pals are all mostly dead, but the ones who are still alive,
Yeah.
they're not watching that kind of stuff. So it's and there's no response, and mostly all the other things have a. There's always somebody comes up and says, "Oh, I remember you in Roughnecks,"
Yeah.
and this is like, "Oh right,
Yeah.
right. Oh, I love that bit with the rabbit. Oh, right, it's very sweet." And especially at Comic Cons, people will come for something very obscure,
Yeah.
and I won't have a photograph for it because it's 50 years ago.
Yeah. Because I think.
But generally speaking, it's a lovely thing that people have seen you do what you do,
Yeah.
and they remember it. Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, what's not to like about that?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
lovely.
Yeah, I mean, going off the back of that, in this day and age, like you said, when you were growing up, there was like one TV channel. Now there's Amazon, Netflix, all that, and there's just such an influx of TV shows. It's hard to keep track of everything. And myself, there's not many stuff I'm crazy for that I like. But I was watching, is it The Periphery or Peripheral?
Peripheral. Yeah.
And I was watching that, and it was really effing good. And then I was like, "There's Clive," and I was like, "So I had no idea you're in it." So, but I do also have a question about.
By the way,
that.
did I come back as a ghost in it?
Oh.
Or not?
I don't know.
Because
Right.
I was surprised. I went for a fight thing, and the Irish actor Ned said to me, "You come back as a ghost." And I said, "No." But we shot the scene. I came back as a ghost.
Yeah, but
Apparently not.
I can't remember.
Can we
if I
not
got
talk
that
about
far.
this? This is very upsetting.
Spoiler alert. but what I remember about it was it seemed very American, shot in America and stuff. And I think your scene was in a bowling alley.
Bowling alley
Yeah.
in near King's Cross. No,
Right.
near Arsenal Football Club.
Right, because that's what I was going to ask. The magic of film, try to fool people that you're establishing shot of the Eiffel Tower and then close up of the apartment. You're like, you're creating magic. You're fooling somebody that the imagination is in another place. And I was like, what threw me there was like, Clive. I was like, would they have flown him over to the States just to film this one scene in a bowling alley? So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Where did they film
It's
that?
a lot of these things are shot in Britain.
Right.
I did 4 series for Netflix in 2024, 1 in South Africa, 1 in Edinburgh, in Leith, and 2 in London.
Right. Was the Leith one Department Q?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
Which is now, I think they're now doing the next 2
right,
series.
Yeah. You looked great in that, by the way.
No, I didn't. The wig was. This is. How dare you? For those that haven't seen it, I've got a pretty dodgy wig as a younger me.
Oh, it was a wig. I thought it might have been.
Oh, it was a wig.
I thought.
What?
I thought they might have just dyed your hair for those scenes.
Can we move on, please?
Absolutely.
What else did you wear a wig in?
So I'm thinking chronologically of the things that jump out at me, and actually a lot of them, as we've been talking, are things that have these sort of subculture and genre fans. But the 13th Warrior was one that I remember watching years and years ago when it came out, and it jumped out to me because it was an unusual proposition, it being a kind of fantasy with sort of supernatural element with Vikings, and I know there was a bit there was like Robin Hood, there was Gladiator maybe around about that time, so there was big budgets being spent, but it seemed to come out of nowhere for me anyway. I think it was Michael Crichton novel.
Yeah, Michael Crichton.
Yeah. And you and Tony Curran were the 2 Scottish actors,
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas and Omar Sharif. Did you meet Omar Sharif?
He took us out for dinner.
Did he?
took 60 people out for dinner.
Wow.
He was class. You went to watch him. We went to watch him when he was acting.
Yeah. That would be something. I always forget he's in that movie, and then I watch it again. I'm like, of course. And then there was a kind of cast of Scandinavians, wasn't there, making up
Yeah.
the rest of the.
Well, I think there were. He was the 13th warrior, Antonio Banderas. The 12 of us were largely large or tall men.
Right.
Of the 12, I was the 4th smallest, I think.
Right. Really?
Wow. That's mad, because I was at a film fest and John McTiernan was one
Yeah.
of the guests of honour, and I was hanging out with him a bit, and I was at the screening. a couple of seats away from him of 13th Warrior watching it. And again, I think I was like, oh, it's Clive. And he sort of looked over, because I'm just a couple of seats away. And I was like, and I can't remember. He sort of gave me this nod as if to say, yeah, it is. And we'd spoken before, he knew I was Scottish also. And I was like, he's a big bastard, or something. And he was like, yeah. And we both looked at each other and said at the exact same time, 6'6".
Excellent. We've got a clip actually that we're going to show that we'll stick on the podcast, and hopefully John McTiernan won't come after us, because actually the other clips we've got are from our own films, so we're okay. Those are clear.
Run about as far as I care to. Today was a good day. A good day. Get along, lad. Go. Okay, I've got a story to tell about that.
Oh.
Not about that, right?
Right, okay.
My youngest daughter, lived in Berlin, and we went, which is I can recommend as a place to go to anybody. And we were going out on bikes to one of the lakes to swim. She was swimming. It was winter. I'm very old, and we came back, and we came with the bikes, and then we went on the U-Bahn. We're going to change from the U-Bahn to another line, which involved going down in a lift. So we have the bikes. My daughter, who's very tall, beautiful, going there. And there's a guy in the corner, and he's kind of slumped in the corner. He's wearing leather. He looks like a biker, and he's giving me the eye. He's really giving me the eye. And I'm getting anxious. I'm thinking, he wants to smack me, and then he wants to make trouble with my daughter. And the lift starts going down, and he looks at me and he whispers something. I said, sorry? A good day to die. And I'm thinking, fuck. And then suddenly it hits me. He's giving me a line from the movie. And
Still pretty ominous.
It was. And he smiled. But and he was classic for the democratic men. There was another one. I was walking down. I'm going home from Rome on the 5:40 in the morning. I'm going along, and I can hear footsteps coming closer to me. And I walk quickly, and I think I'm going to have to stop and turn. A man comes up to me, he puts his hand in my hand, comes there close like that, and he says, "Loved your work in 13th Warrior, Mr. Russell." Another guy, just like.
You can just say it normally.
No normal person goes inside a foot. He was like on my nose to tell me how wonderful he thought I was.
Right, yeah.
Anyway.
I've actually had visions of people walking up to you in the street and doing the prayer from the Vikings.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Although I see my family.
Back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
So was that the first film you done that was on that sort of grander scale? Because that was a huge movie, wasn't it? I think
a huge movie which went nowhere, by the way.
Yeah, it was a bit of a.
It either was too early. I can't. You're interesting about the chronology of those big things you mentioned. Whether it was too soon or I think it must have been too soon. Mm-hmm. I would have thought if it came out as a movie at the time of Game of Thrones, for instance, it would have.
There was a sort of a late 90s resurgence of the sword and sandals thing, and that seemed right on the money with that.
Yeah.
But just
John McTiernan, Michael Crichton writing, all the right ingredients.
Yeah, spectacular. We were in British Columbia, which is a great place to make movies.
Was everything there? Because it starts a kind of desert setting, doesn't it? Or they have their boat at a river, I think.
All set up.
Yeah, wow.
Could have been Pathhead Sands where the devil's buried.
Don't tell them. This is a story about the difference between our filmmaking and the Americans. The scene by the river that you refer to, the funeral, the funeral pyre and all that, they found a place they wanted to do it, which was where we ended up doing it, and they were looking for a place for the unit to be. And they found a place over the hill, and then they discovered that between the river and the unit base was a sacred piece of land for the local North American tribe. And they got into consultation. They said, well, you can put a path in, we don't mind, but you've got to put it back as it was. They costed that, $1.2 million. Then we did it there.
Wow.
So how did they get 700 people from the unit base across and back? There was huge crowds of people.
Yeah. Helicopters?
Helicopters.
Yeah.
Then it turned out what they'd forgotten was that the safety regime about helicopters is that when you get in, you're waiting to get into the helicopter until the people getting out of the helicopter clear you can't go forward to the helicopter. And the discrepancy in the time it took therefore for us all to go down because they hadn't factored that in meant it cost $2 million. Now, I don't think there's any question in our culture, you go to the producers and say, they say that you can take the path out, but it's 1.2 million, and you go, fine, let's go to that place with the hotel, buy the motorway, and we'll do it on that piece of land.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
But it's part of the ridiculousness of it, and it's also part of there is something called the American can do or will do.
Yeah.
Get it done, not a problem.
Yeah.
They're ambitious.
Move mountains.
Yeah, move mountains. But bomb people unnecessarily. I mean, it's all part of it.
Yeah.
It's a kind of incredible confidence.
Yeah.
The kind of opposite of when we were first in touch about your role in Dynamite. It was like, here's the scene. And then one of the first things you emailed back about was, and what's the timescale for doing it? Oh, we've got the church for a night. And you were like, one night? It was like, this scene would take 2 weeks. And then I thought about it overnight and I was like, okay, we'll do it in 2 nights then. but I don't know, we were there for 2 nights, and I think both nights we had various problems. They double booked us with a choir practice and stuff. I'm not sure what night you were there on.
A lot of problems with lights.
Yeah,
Well,
light and
frequency
flicker
of
and
lights,
stuff.
Yeah.
But I had to CGI part of yourself.
Did you?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I'm not sure if it was you were chewing gum or had a loose tooth, perhaps.
Yeah.
And
It's much more like, no, it would be chewing gum. I've got
Right.
chewing gum. I'm not chewing it.
right,
All right. Okay.
Just in case you want to kiss me.
I had to CGI out your chewing gum.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
But I was a bit cagey about saying
How
something.
much did that cost you?
Oh, well, you owe me being in the next movie.
Fine, that's a done deal. Wouldn't miss
shall
it
we-
for the world.
Shall we show? We've got a clip from Dick Dynamite as well, since we've already had Clive die already.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry.
Save your voice, Master.
Those hands have been stockpiling munitions, weapons in our basement. They have enough ordnance to stop a small army. Dick Dynamite, make sure you...
not a bit of chewing gum in sight.
But the about that scene as well, Tony Strachan. But you'd worked with him before on crumbs. What was it? Can you remember?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
But yeah, we had worked with you.
Yeah. Tony's great as well.
Yeah.
Um,
He was.
But
There was quite a few moments like that in Dick Dynamite where you were working on some crazy set piece and people were getting shot and everything like that, and then it would come to shoot somebody's monologue, and because Robbie was usually quite cagey about sharing the script with even the crew, you wouldn't know what was going on, and somebody would kind of suddenly, you would just set up your shot and then someone would just deliver this incredible, like Tony does this incredible speech right after that, and Eric did it, and quite a few people, and having never met these people, you're just not expecting it. You're kind of thinking this might not be the B movie that has been sold to you. But yeah.
But I don't know if Gary was able to extract one of the bloopers from the movie, but I think the seed might have been planted within yourself, because pretty much everybody, myself included, everybody on set, everybody in front of camera, was a musician, And I don't know if you remember that your blooper there when you're saying, those Huns have left enough munitions to last, to stop a whole war.
I said musicians.
Yeah, and you said musicians. Everybody just absolutely cracked up. It was brilliant.
This is also true for that story.
I get my water.
That's your one.
Oh, thank you.
I was going to ask a wee bit about Game of Thrones because it seems like a natural, going from 13th Warrior to Game of Thrones. But again, with Game of Thrones spaced, I guess you must have known that the scale
Yes,
that was.
again, that particularly that because I was in Michelle Fairley, who played my niece in Game of Thrones. She and I were doing a small film called Cupcake, maybe 3 years before. And one morning she wasn't there, and they explained to me that I'm saying, well, "Where's Michelle?" She said, "Oh, she's gone for an interview with the Americans in Belfast." They're going to do 4 years on this fucking thing. Imagine. And it was Game of Thrones. She got the part. So good. And a couple of years forward, everybody has heard about this.
Yeah.
I think the first series has come out, and you want to be in it. You want to be in that, and you know you're up for it because lots of pals of mine have gone up. And I was offered the part of the
Blackfish.
No, I was initially offered the part of played by Clive Mantle, I think, and he was one of the kings, lords of the North, and I said no, I don't want to do that.
Right.
And they came back with Blackfish,
Yeah.
which was a lovely part.
He'd been built up actually over the first 2 seasons or something as a sort of legendary character.
Yeah, did Jamie Lannister not say you were the best warrior he'd ever seen or something? Is that
possibly
part of the lore?
What did he know?
Yeah. and am I right in saying that you never see the Blackfish's demise, which is one rare for someone in Game of Thrones not to die, but also does that mean there is scope for?
Well, maybe they were doing that. I don't think they were, and also, I thought the way in which my soldiers gave me up was completely unbelievable. You set somebody up to be the leader, the warrior, and whatever. They had to do a lot of that with sub stories, and it was a sub story.
What was the production like then? Were you shooting in Northern Ireland as well?
I was shooting mostly in studio in Northern Ireland, and once the bow and arrow sequence and a couple of other things were out.
Was that
River Band?
Sets the
thing I like.
Thing, yeah. That's a
I think
great
that's
scene.
my first scene. It's a great entrance for a character.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because is it Tobias Menzies?
Mingus.
Yeah, that's playing your.
I would say Mingus. He would say Menzies. How does he say it? I don't know.
I'm not sure, but yeah, Mingus.
Tobias Mingus.
Is it not Mingus like Charlie Mingus?
Yeah, probably.
Mingus Hill in Dundee.
Aye.
So presumably,
We could go on.
Many a Mingus.
do you remember John Mingus?
No.
All right.
Oh, the shop.
The shop.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
The shop which turned into a
Is
cannabis
that not
farm.
still going?
No.
No,
Fuck.
they've been,
When did that
they've
go?
been
Long
turning,
defunct
the
W.H.
Latvians
Smith.
have been turning into cannabis farms. True story.
Allegedly.
If you're watching this in Latvia just now, since we're in Kirkcaldy, actually, I noticed that you'd voiced Jockey Wilson for a thing for the BBC. Yeah, that was interesting because.
Well, I'll tell you something about that. Jockey Wilson was a fifer.
Yeah.
I can do. I'm beautifully spoken. Have you noticed? Right, but I think I can do fife very well.
Yeah.
But I was doing it in a Glasgow studio with people I knew, all of whom were Glaswegians. So I actually made Jockey Wilson a kind of hybrid of.
Yeah.
It wasn't right.
He's from Chinatown, isn't he?
It's on YouTube. I was watching it. Yeah, I was watching it. I thought he sounded Fife to me.
Did he?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have listened.
It's not an accent you hear very often
No.
on TV and film.
No.
Nah. I'm trying to think. Dougray Scott. Who else have we got?
Dougray Scott's not doing a Glenn Rufus accent in Mission Impossible 2.
No, that's true. And
He's a Leslie boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
From Leslie.
and your man from Baby Reindeer as well, Richard Gadd.
Yeah.
Oh, from Wormit.
Yeah,
Is
from
it?
Wormit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's about it, though. Small pool. So Game of Thrones, presumably people are still coming up to you at Comic-Cons and things like that.
It's still very much alive. Well, certainly in the Spanish one. I haven't done that many. I've done one in Huddersfield last year.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones was still the thing.
Yeah, wow.
So again, I suppose a bit like still again, people are rewatching their favourites.
Yeah.
I still watch episodes of The West Wing.
Right, yeah.
Don't look at me like that.
Yeah, no.
So because your IMDb list is so extensive, the fact that you're saying you watch stuff, have you watched everything you've ever been in?
No. No.
Because it's a big list.
There are actors who on set, you'll have experienced that, I think, when you review the take, they'll be sitting behind the door. Oh, no, we can't. No, let's go again. And I think what they're reacting to is seeing themselves as others see them.
Yeah.
Which is not. I mean, I think of myself looking like Darren Clark, the golfer, who's a hefty 6'2". Well, I used to be heftier than I am now, but basically I'm a giraffe. I'm long limbs. I'm tall, long, and I'm watching it. I'm looking at it and going, oh no, oh. And I used to have a mannerism which was all the time. My best pal used to say, oh, you were doing your thing again. Oh, fuck off.
So would you just skip,
but all that,
skip the
so
scenes?
for me, no. If I was to go with the director, I'd be so self-conscious in the next take.
Yeah.
That what you have to trust that this is what's important.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to trust it. If you don't trust it, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Is that a good time to show the Gudeman clip then?
I was just thinking that.
But the backstory to this is terrifying. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, okay. If you can cue that up.
Allow me a moment of bluntness. Fate has not been kind to you. A loss like you suffered requires time to reconcile. But you have had time, and I cannot continue to pay a man a salary to drink whiskey and lose letters. And yet, I am prepared to offer you work as a factor, a ward to the land, responsibility. Perhaps I yet have use for a man with no family. Do not run from this. This comes from a place of compassion. This is the region where a man may find isolation helpful to resolve an emotional setback. Overcome. Or succumb, if that be your wish. Because there can be few places more accommodating to a man who wishes to find oblivion at the bottom of a bottle. However, if you can work, if you still do work, return to me with a survey. Go north and do your job. Or do not return.
Some goosebumps there.
Really good.
Yeah.
That was my granddad.
Okay.
As I remember him. He was bald, but he was a elder in the kirk.
Yeah.
And if he wanted to be that man, he could do it like that. He was the sweetest granddad in the world. But he had a side to him which was hardline Puritan.
Yeah.
And is that what you were channeling? You were channeling that?
Unconsciously, I think so.
Oh, right.
I was... How did we do that? Because I had a complete brain fade on the morning.
You had a tough day because you just had to deliver a monologue with no sort of...
so much dialogue that I gave you.
It was huge.
No, but normally I would... It was frightening.
Yeah.
I thought I was having a stroke. Maybe I was. But how did we do it? Did we do it line by line?
We did a few things. So that, I think a lot of that stuff we did on the second day.
Right.
So we'd already covered it, but then we went back because I wanted some move-in shots.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to tackle those on the first day because they can take a bit of time to set up, and you want to really kind of cover the scene first, and then you can go back for the fancier stuff. And I think that day was probably just more relaxed. I'm always better on those days where I feel like we've got the chunk of the scene done, and now we can just give it some colour and give it some flavour. And
I think your character doesn't say much back because he's kind of being told off.
no, the Spotify listeners will have no idea I was in that.
Yeah. So I mean that's difficult in itself because there's not much to react to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What I found hard was
but you were breaking up. I mean, it was it was having an effect on him.
Yeah. Well, this is what I found difficult was sitting opposite you and having this, like your grandfather putting me in my place, and then we'd cut, and I'd have to suddenly think, okay, I need to
Give me a
take
note.
some semblance of charge again.
Yeah, well, that wasn't good enough, big man.
Well, yeah, I'd have to suddenly turn the tables and say, okay,
Yeah.
difficult. It's difficult to do because I remember sitting feeling absolutely, put in my place by this character opposite me.
But you're going to have to do it again because Clive just scrutinised it. I'll shoot it for you. We'll just green screen it. It'll look exactly the same. The lighting and stuff's awful anyway.
I love it. I think it's an excellent scene, and I showed my parents as well, and they were like, "This guy can act."
What does they think about me?
So, guys, I just want to say I don't want you to think I'm being rude by being on my phone. What I'm actually doing is going through all my questions, most of which I wrote at 3 a.m. when I was quite inebriated. So I've just been deleting them. Like, why would I be asking Clive Russell what kind of drugs he took in the 60s? Why? It was like one of them was like, it's like, don't you think David Carradine just oozes charisma and cool on camera? Why would I be asking you things? But you can answer them if you want.
Let's see what ones made the cut.
I don't know. Oh, what ones I've left in?
Yeah. I'm interested now.
But that's the thing. They're more normal questions now. Like this is first week leaking, and it was like, what was I thinking? 3 a.m. like nonsense.
I think you should read them all out anyway.
Yeah.
All right, one of them's like, okay. I have one of my favourite movies. I own, I think, maybe 3 copies on DVD, Blu-ray, and VHS. Do you collect formats?
No.
Yeah. Okay. See, I was like, why did I write that?
I've got an awful lot of the old VHS.
Right.
which
Okay.
I won't throw out.
Yeah.
Nothing to play on.
Yeah. I do have a little quiz, and I did have a rapid fire kind of quiz. I've left them in.
Oh, I'm interested.
Cool. I'll save that for later. But one of them was.
You really know how to take the floor, don't you?
Are there any auditions you've done and missed out to a big name?
That's a good one.
I was in Martin Scorsese's The Gangs of New York. Brendan Gleeson got the part.
Oh yeah.
And they took a long time over that. And latterly I discovered, at that point Brendan was not quite the Brendan he is now.
Yeah.
He got on a plane, went to New York, knocked on the door and said, "Hi Martin, let's read."
Right.
Fair play to him. Fair play to him.
And there's a fellow.
Fair play to him.
There's a fellow ex-exploited member in Gangs of New York as well. Actually, a mate of mine in Bristol, I think when he was in Thailand, he thought he was buying it on DVD, from some sort of knockoff shop, and he got back home, went to watch it, and it was actually some Asian thing called Gongs of New York. I'm not even making it up. It's a true story. Gongs of New York.
So that was a porn movie.
Gary, we got some work to do.
Well,
That's enough. That was last night.
Pick one of the springs on the microphone stand just to add the gong.
It's not bad, by the way.
That's very good.
Gongs of Kirkcaldy. All right. Another one was.
I'm waiting to see what.
I was a huge fan of The Terror, and you were.
I was going to mention
me
The Terror.
too.
Yeah.
I thought The Terror was one of the best scripts I've ever read, and there was a huge amount of stramash going on about paying us.
Right.
I think it had gone from one company to another company, and the new company said,
okay,
nothing to do with us. And they weren't going to play
Just
residuals.
during production.
No, after the production.
okay.
I think the production went very well.
Yeah.
Was
Was that a lot of that?
there's some really good actors in it.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
brilliant. I
yeah.
thought it was tremendous.
Weird.
Mr. Mingus, Menzies, Latvia.
Yeah.
He was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his side hustle of growing cannabis.
Yeah. So please. Yeah.
Are we going to get done for plagiarism?
Was a lot of that shot on a volume stage, like a big screen?
I wasn't in that particular part of it, but we were in a building. Well, like to give some context of this, we're in a beautiful 6-star hotel. I mean, and then you go outside and it's slightly cold. The river, I can't remember it's not the Danube, it's one of those big rivers. There's 1.5 foot of ice. It's like the old pictures of London when the Thames used to freeze. You can't get your head around it. And we're in a building which is an empty building, 6 stories high. We're on floor 4, and it's so cold that we had to get pads put under our feet because we were getting cold.
Wow.
I mean, it was very apt. This was for the scenes when we were in an office in London, and they somehow managed using these huge gas heaters to keep us warm. They set fire to the room.
Oh.
So they got that out, and we went again. Right, ready to go again.
Mingus, get your hydroponic
Yeah,
lamps
Mr.
out.
Russell, I'm shut.
Sorry.
Sorry, that was distorted.
I loved the terror.
I was listening to
Fantastic
Brilliant.
idea.
Yeah.
Because the real adventure in itself was so crazy. All these Shackleton stories and those guys going just nuts, and certainly to me, full of respect and excitement. Anyway, but the realization of the ghosty thing, I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
I actually thought the new Frankenstein was a bit of a
Similar in a lot of ways,
bit of a rip of the Terror.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a question I've asked some certain actors: is during your career, at any moment have you? I mean, you've acted with some huge names, Antonio Banderas and stuff, but have there any moments that you've had where you've been starstruck?
Oh, somebody asked me this over the weekend. No, I'm not starstruck by any actor because they're actors. But if you put me in front of, I was at a golf thing, Tim Haley's golf thing, a long time ago. I went for a pee, and the Liverpool manager, the nice guy, what was his name? I can't remember his name.
Oh, Jurgen Klopp.
No, way back.
Oh, way back.
He's been part of the book room, and he was eventually the one who became manager. And he was Roy Evans.
Right.
And I'm watching him pee. I'm like this. I'm like a 14-year-old boy going, this is ridiculous. And he's going, what the fuck's this? He actually knew who I was. He said, oh, hi, Clive. And that broke the spell.
Yeah.
But I couldn't talk to him.
What about directors? Do you get starstruck by directors?
No. What was the Duel film?
Oh yeah, with Matt Damon.
And who was the director? Gladiator.
Oh, Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott. And he was remarkable because he was probably 85 then. He worked really quickly. A lot of cameras, but working really quickly. And there was a certain point he said, can you do it faster? And I couldn't do it faster for some reason. He said, okay, right, let's go on. On we go. So everybody knew you had your moment. Take it if you can. And I couldn't. Anyway, there you go.
I enjoyed that film.
Yeah.
Another great script. I thought I really treated the whole thing really well.
Yeah.
Well, nicely done.
But wasn't it?
Those two guys, Damon and his pal,
Affleck,
they're really interesting.
Yeah. Well, they were. I mean, they both co-wrote Good Will Hunting, so they were Oscar nominated at about 20.
Really young.
Yeah.
And Adam Driver was playing one of the guys.
Yeah.
And I was at the back of the court scene watching them prepare, and he was doing a whole lot to watch him. He had a cloak, and he was working out all the different ways he could use the cloak.
Yeah.
And in the end, he didn't go for the flamboyant stuff, but he did something which really made a moment. It was really intriguing. I admire him a lot. He
is a really good actor. Actually.
He's one that apparently doesn't watch his work. Doesn't like.
Well, he's another one he's a giraffe.
Yeah.
He's got muscle though.
Yeah.
So have I, by the way.
Ready for another?
Any more
Yeah, of
crazy?
course.
Oh, how many more fucking questions?
There's loads.
Oh, is there?
But
No,
these
no.
are more of the normal ones. I've deleted all the outrageous
I want to hear
ones.
some of the crazy ones.
Well, no, it was all right.
Did you ask who I had sex with? In one of those? You're not getting any of that.
Yeah.
Certainly not you.
I've got just growing up, swinging 60s, college, drugs.
Keep going.
You could elaborate, or you could just
a
say.
lot of young actors will ask about that. So you were back in the day, yeah? Long silence, something going on. So did you? What? Did you? What? I said, did you do drugs? So is it? No, I didn't. Oh. Well, and off they fucking go.
I might have to remember that one for myself. Wrong answer.
No, that was an honest answer.
I mean, for myself, I might have to lie in the future.
Yeah, but I'm just making clear I wasn't lying.
Yeah.
I know you'd have to lie.
I get stereotyped. The roles I get cast in. They cast me alongside
Yeah, next question.
Megan
Come
Fox
on,
and stuff. I'm the
next
love interest. So, Outpost, where was the... Because, again, was it a Scottish production?
It was down... that's a good question. Was it? He was an English director. He was a Scouse director. I can't remember his name. Who did... he did funny talk about actors, which would be... And we've got... in the audition, he's telling me about the young actors he's got, and everyone was given a little tagline, and she's really hot. She's on the way up. I'm not doing a good Scouse accent, am I? He wasn't Scouse, he was from Fife. And we did it down on the Solway Firth on
Beautiful.
Ministry of Defence land.
Oh, right. Because am I right in saying the film was set in Eastern Europe? Is that right?
Yes, and I was a barman, and I was let's say I was a Bosnian barman, because it rhymes, doesn't it?
Not Latvian.
This is my Bosnia. No, because that's a different. That's Menges or Menzies. So I was playing a Bosnian barman, and I was speaking Bosnian. Okay, so I thought I handled it very well. At the end of it, he said, "Did that sound all right?" He said, "It sounded great, fucking great, really good, right, fine, great." Bump, go for lunch, and this a woman came up to me. She was an extra. And she said, "I'm from Bosnia." And she was looking at me with a twinkle in her eye. And I'm going, "Huh? What?" He said, "Why did you keep saying Happy Christmas?" So it was like, I thought she was going to say, "Oh, brilliant, you really..."
you nailed it.
And I'm getting taller and taller, and she hit me with that, and I was...
I read that you played a Gallic character as well. Did you?
I played a Gallic character in what was the opening scene, I think, of Brian Cox's movie, in which he played a guy from Harris, Lewis, and couldn't have been the opening scene. He did a big long speech in Gaelic to accept it in New York in the film, and a lot of the American actors, older American actors, Helen Mirren did it a bit in Catherine the Great, have little iPads all around the set. So I'm looking at you. There's an iPad there.
Right.
There's an iPad there, and then wherever I look, there's an iPad.
Yeah.
Which saved me and him, because at least we were familiar with the words and could remember the pronunciation.
Yeah.
But it was quite difficult.
Yeah. Well,
And he said it was quite difficult.
yeah. I mean, even just
He was having trouble learning words way back in the 90s, 80s.
sometimes
when I worked
just
with
seeing a Gaelic word is not enough to.
Oh, no, it's not. No.
Because you need to know.
But they had a good guy who was really helpful with that.
Right.
But it's a mindfuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
I did an audition for something in which they've invented a language which is a mixture of Gaelic and Swedish or something.
Right.
So, and I said, "Well, can we do it line by line? I'll do the line and you record it." I said, "No, just go for it. It doesn't matter. We just want to see if you can act." Wait a minute. So we did that, and that was, and there is something about, I thought I did it really well, given it wasn't a real language or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What's
Have
next?
you got any more?
Yeah. This is the quickfire round, Clive. The quickfire round. So
At last.
try and keep the questions brief and short. So, favourite soundtrack?
Paris, Texas.
Is that Ry Cooder?
Yeah.
Funnily enough, never mind.
Is this a quick fire round? or not?
Yeah. I was going to go off on a tangent. Imagine. Favourite Western?
It's a Clint Eastwood one where he came to the town.
Unforgiven.
Fist for the dollars?
No, for his own movie.
Not Pale Rider.
Oh, yeah.
Unforgiven.
Unforgiven. Pale Rider.
Unforgiven, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
It's not
okay.
that, it's another
Yeah,
one.
that is the
Anyway,
best.
one of
Yes,
them. In fact,
yeah.
all those three are really
Yeah.
good.
Favourite sci-fi?
2001.
Favourite horror?
Don't have one.
Okay.
Oh.
Your movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Incorrect. I mean, cool. The only other part that I've not deleted is famous movie quotes, and if you could name the movie.
Go.
If they move, kill them.
No.
Wild Bunch. Freeze, you chili choking pepper bellies.
No.
Cheech and Chong. Hello, boys.
Can I point out who's looking good now? And it's not me.
Hello, boys. I'm back.
Oh, Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, I thought it was Independence Day, but maybe they nipped it off him. This one you got to get. Is it safe?
I don't know.
Marathon Man.
These are quite obscure. But
And now
Well, come on, it was like 3 a.m. It was like,
and now you're. Oh, you'll like this one. Patronising. Anyway, go on.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
The rabbit thing.
yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
And are you not entertained?
Right, I'm fucking bored with this now. So, right,
That's a
right, so I've
Ridley
got one
Scott.
for you. There is a day I would have got both those flies. You've got to name the actor
Oh.
and the movie.
No, not too much. Dead,
I
yeah.
rest my case. I rest my case.
Not that easy, is it, Steed?
That's
Yeah, I'm done. Can chuck this away now.
Thanks for entertaining him. Yeah.
Robert Vaughn.
It's not easy. We have to do it all the time.
Right, we are.
That was Robert Vaughn in the remaking of The Seven Samurai.
Magnificent
yeah,
Seven.
Magnificent
Seven, yeah.
And there are great one-liners out of that.
Yeah. I think we probably need to wrap it up actually because we've been going for a bit longer than.
Just over an hour, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You took up 35 minutes.
I'd love to ask one sort of closing question.
Yeah.
Like, if you had a piece of advice to give young aspiring actors nowadays and getting started, what would it be?
I'm going to start with a story about Jimmy Cagney. He was on Michael Parkinson. And clearly Michael Parkinson had been warned that he was not a good interviewee. He didn't like being interviewed. He described himself, I'm just a farmer, which is what he was in retirement. But they brought along as well the Irish actor who played the priest in the movie where he was condemned, whose name I've forgotten, in The Wings. But it went exactly as they feared. He said, so what's your favourite movie? Oh, I'm not sure. Tell us about some of the stories about wow, I had a great time. He was just all the way through one-lines. He was perfectly happy to do that. So they brought the other guy on, and he was hugely entertaining it, and he loved this man so much. He made it seem like it was an interview about Jimmy Cagney, which it wasn't really. It was him doing a stand-up comedy routine, but being really respectful. And at the end, Parkinson had to have an answer. He said, it's your question. So, Jimmy, if there was a young actor here, what advice would you get? He said, sit down, look him straight in the eye and tell the truth. I would have something along those lines. I think it's it's about acting is about an interaction between two human beings who happen to be saying words of another human being. Making the scene work is about allowing yourself to react to that other human being. You can only do that by looking in their eyes, because that's where it all happens. And having the confidence to do that, and the confidence that that will bring something unique to those words, is certainly what film acting is about. And listening in the way where you actually hear what's being said. Because if it's good writing, it will humanly make sense, and you two humans will make it something worth listening to. It's not about moustaches and walks and accents. All those are the periphery. In the end, look the other guy, look him in the eye and tell the truth, is what I think he was trying to say.
Okay. Like, be present is what...
Be present, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the wonderful thing about film, and like the thing we did. It's like two guys sitting in front of each other, and in the end, we're the two guys we are, and you react for whatever your experience of that situation is, and likewise. That's, to me, what it's about.
It's good advice.
Yeah. That's great.
Thank you for that very perceptive last question.
Yeah, great way to round up. And I need to obviously
Up your Steed. I'm the winner.
I need to thank our guests for coming in. Thank you very much, Clive, and thank you very much, Steed, for your
Inebriated questions.
yeah for your 3 a.m. questions. And thank you for tuning in as well. And it's my duty to act like Sandu right now and remind you to hit the like and subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed to us, please, on Spotify or YouTube. And we will be seeing you soon. We're going to have more episodes lined up. Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.